Welcome to Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Randee Humphrey, Director of Education. Here at Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden, we speak of our mission being education and our passion connecting people and plants to improve our community. Over the garden's 30-year history, there have been many ventures that have provided value to the community, but many of them have happened right here on our campus. In 2009, with our new strategic plan that stated that the garden would expand beyond its boundaries, the question became, how does that actually become a reality out in our community? We consider that the garden is the center for horticultural expertise here in Central Virginia. How might we use the assets that we've amassed here on our campus to address some of the issues that exist in our larger community? Through the building of partnerships and strategic alliances with other like-minded organizations here in Central Virginia, over the last 20 months or so, the garden has taken the lead in a movement that we're calling Beautiful RVA. This is essentially a loosely formed coalition, one might refer to it as an affinity group, of organizations that share some of our very same values and ideas of what it means when a cultural institution acts as an agent of change in the community. What brings us together is our common focus on community greening, urban horticulture, and beautiful placemaking. So over the course of the last nearly 2 years, Beautiful RVA has looked at how it might address some of the very essential needs for greening up our community, for the economic and health and social benefits that accrue when we focus on the quality of life in the landscapes that fill the voids between the built environment. In many ways, Beautiful RVA is what happens when organizations come together to have a collective impact on the quality of life in their community. So the enterprising work of Beautiful RVA, this coalition of like-minded organizations, all focused on community greening and urban horticulture and beautiful placemaking to improve the quality of life in our community, essentially is looking at how we become agents of change in a community where many people still live in areas of high concentrations of poverty. What's been very unique about this movement is that Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden is at the nexus of this activity. We're taking the lead, and in many ways we're not only at the table, but we're providing the table around which many people come together to share their assets and develop new strategies for addressing some of the chronic social issues. In 2014, the garden is celebrating its 30th anniversary. This is a very important milestone for our garden. While a relatively young public garden, we've long had a history of community involvement. In 2009, when we developed our strategic plan, among the many goals that we outlined was one that said very specifically that we would expand the garden beyond our walls, providing more services to the community at large. Also in 2009, we launched our community kitchen garden. This is a project that provides fresh produce to Feed More, the umbrella organization in the greater Richmond area that addresses food insecurity issues. Over the past 5 years, Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden, working with a lot of volunteer labor, has produced over 46,000 pounds of fresh produce through the community kitchen garden effort. The fresh produce that we produce here in the garden supplements over 185,000 meals that are provided by Feed More through its Kids Cafe and Meals on Wheels to homebound seniors and to children throughout the region who live in challenging circumstances. At the time that we launched the community kitchen garden, we knew that our efforts here at Lewis Ginter Botanical Garden were not going to solve all of the food insecurity issues in the greater Richmond region. But we did regard this as a very important step in catalyzing other institutions to consider taking on similar efforts. Together, the alliances and the partnerships that we form and demonstrations like the Community Kitchen Garden help to address some of the chronic issues of food insecurity in the Greater Richmond region.